In this video, we're going to be going over 4 things you should ask your healthcare professional or medical provider to make sure A, you've chosen the right healthcare professional, and B, to make sure you are doing everything you can to get better quicker. Here at TruMotion Therapy, we specialize in the conservative management of musculoskeletal pain and injuries. With that being said, this video is mostly going to be focused on just that, musculoskeletal pain and injuries, but these tips and pieces of advice can be used across a pretty broad spectrum of medical conditions. So number 1, the first thing you should ask your healthcare professional is, what is the diagnosis? When you leave an initial visit, you should have a pretty good idea what your diagnosis is, or you should have a really good plan to try to figure out that diagnosis. You may not have the exact diagnosis on day 1, but you should have a plan or even a list of maybe 3 diagnoses that it could be. And then with some additional testing or a short trial of care, we hope to narrow down to that diagnosis. So either a pretty firm diagnosis or a really good plan to try to figure out what that diagnosis is. Number 2, you should know about how long it's going to take to get you better. Now, everybody's going to be different, and it is impossible to put an exact day and time on when you're actually going to feel better, but you should have a pretty good range as to when you will feel better. For instance, if we have somebody who comes in today and they have strained their lower back, they don't have any neurologic symptoms, but their back hurts really bad. If they're healthy, we have a pretty good idea that within a week to 3 weeks, they're going to be feeling much better. And that is based off of previous experience and the clinical data that's out there. Now, if somebody comes in, they've been a tennis player for a long time and they've been dealing with tennis elbow for a year, we may be looking at an 8 to 12 week time period to fully resolve this issue, just because it's going to be a longer time to strengthen those tissues. So different issues will have different time frames, but you should be given a pretty good time frame for how long this may take for you. The third thing you're going to want to know is, how much is this going to cost? Is it covered by insurance? Is it not covered by insurance? Is the price going to go up? Are there certain tests or procedures that we need to do along the way that are going to elevate the cost? As a patient, it is well within your right to ask what the cost of the treatment and care you're going to be receiving will be. The fourth and final thing that you should hear from your healthcare practitioner is what kind of things you can be doing on your own to help expedite the process for getting you better. So is that going to be stretches or exercises that you can be doing at home to help reduce muscle tension or improve the strength of weak muscles? Also, are there certain lifestyle modifications that you should be making? Should you be taking a certain supplement? Should you be changing the way that you're sitting at work? There are always lifestyle modifications that you can be making to try to get your condition better, faster, and you should be asking about those kind of things. So I hope that list was helpful. Again, number 1, you should have a diagnosis or a good plan for reaching a good diagnosis. Number 2, you should know how long it's going to take. Number 3, you should know the cost. And number 4, you should know what kind of things you need to be doing at home on your own. Now, if you've been to some medical professionals and you haven't quite been getting the answers that you want, or you have an injury that's giving you trouble and this type of plan sounds good to you, we'd be happy to help you out. We make sure we try to hit all 4 of those points for every single one of our patients. It's just so important for us to know that they understand their condition, they know what it's going to take to get it better. It just provides a better experience across the board. So if you'd like to join us on your journey, getting better, moving better, we'd be happy to help. Please visit us online at TruMotionTherapy.com to learn more or to book an appointment.